The letters are available to the committee to review last night. There was a deadline that was set by the state party, and they were received into the state headquarters. At what date they were received? 4 days before, but they were all available last night, and that material was reviewed last night. The members of the nominating committee worked very hard for over 3 hours going over that material and putting together the names for this report and this recommendation today.
And we appreciate the work of the nominating committee, but the rule says in 8.03 that letters have to be in at least 5 days prior to the meeting of the nominating committee, and then they are to be immediately.
I'm sorry, but that is incorrect. The rules of the Republican Party state that letters must be received 4 working days prior to the convention at hand. The letters were transmitted to the nominating committee. In fact, I took it as chairman of the Republican Party to ask the nominating committee to meet in advance of the state convention to ensure that they had ample time to review the 132 submissions, which they did and took it very seriously, and they've offered a good slate, and there is a motion on the floor to adopt the report of the nominating committee regarding the slate of delegates and alternate delegates to the convention. Are you ready for the question?
We have a motion for discussion.
I have a
further
question.
discussion. The rules of this convention also ask me to afford opportunities to individuals who speak who have not yet spoken.
Just one little
so
question.
I'm going to afford this
One
gentleman
simple
right
question.
here an opportunity to speak. Yes, sir. Please state your name and your county.
Yes, I'm Michael Boldsby in Jefferson County. First off, I would like to thank everyone here that has done more than the 99% and come to participate in changing the direction of this country. Second of all, it is clear to anyone participating that there is great division in this country, including within our party. We can help restore unity in the party of the open door today. We can recognize that there are no rules prohibiting the substitution from the floor of a unity slate of delegates that build bridges to replace some of the bridges that have been burned. At this point, I'd like to offer an amendment to the delegates.
An amendment is out of order. The rules of the Republican Party state that this committee will offer a slate of delegates and alternate delegates to the body assembled. And if the body assembled rejects that slate, it goes back to the nominating committee for further consideration. If it accepts the slate, then it moves forward. So that is out of order according to the Republican Party protected rules. And I would like to advise that reading of documents in a proceeding is typically not allowed. I certainly had not said that before you came forward, but so I didn't want to interrupt you, but reading of documents is not permitted.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, Jim Weiss of Hardin County.
Before the chairman of the nominating committee was so rudely interrupted, most of us could not hear the report. Would you mind reading the report again, please, sir, so we can actually hear who was nominated?
Yes, we will do so without
You're allowed to interrupt the chair.
Ladies and gentlemen, the nominating committee makes the following recommendations for a slate of National Convention delegates: Rand Paul, Hal Rogers, Ed Whitfield, Brent Guthrie, James Comer, Jeff Hoover, Ellen Williams, John McCarty, Jim Lacey, Cynthia Rogers, Robin Williams, Hilda Legg, Casey Crosby, Scott Jennings, Kelly Knight, Holly Harris, Betty Sue Howard, Tom Bouchard, Deanna Brangers, Ian Koffler, Kevin Smith, Andy Barr, Janet Cuttrell, Julie Henson. The committee recommends the following 24 individuals as alternate delegates: Hunter Bates, Mark Metcalf, Carol Rogers, Faith Murphy, Michael Knopfsinger, Kathy Dietrich, Ben LaRue, Merv Brandeis, Cheryl Feinbow, Patrick Flannery, Bill Bishop, Shasta Hines, Linda Williams, Jeannie Ferguson, Ashley Brugman, Linda Hasselbrock, Julia Bright, Eric Lycan, Norrin James, Ben Wade, Kathy Flagg, Angela Leet, Kathy Gornick, Garth Kenheim.
Well, Yes, please state your name and your county.
Neil James from Jefferson County.
Thank you, sir.
I just wanted to bring up the point, and I know there's been talk about division and such, but Mr. McConnell also brought up the point that in 2010 we made significant advances, and I just want to point out that a lot of those advances were from grassroots efforts. They were from people in the Tea Party, some people that go by the title Liberty Movement, just people who have not necessarily been constantly involved in the Republican Party, but are starting to get really involved at the grassroots level and are interested in getting, while we've talked about some people talking the talk and walking the walk, our party has always been for small government, conservative values, and I feel that that's really coming to fruition thanks to these grassroots efforts. And I feel like the voice of the grassroots efforts may not be fully in this slate, and I don't disagree that many of these people should be in the slate. I just feel that there may be a compromise where 6 delegates, 6 alternates from our unity amendment may be added to the slate. And if we strike it down, it wouldn't be a sign of division, but of unity by allowing these grassroots activists onto the slate to the National Convention.
Thank you for your comments.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Your name and county.
My name is Linda Williams-Clausen. I'm from Lincoln County. This is my first state Republican convention. I am also a member of the National Parliamentarians Association and have been actively involved in that for many, many years, and been president and CEO of several large organizations. Mine is a point of parliamentary order and inquiry. I like to see, as a parliamentarian, all members' rights protected, because the voice of the people is very, very important, especially in this year of an election that is so crucial to our country. And for us to be here today as conservatives, moderate, or even liberal Republicans, whatever you are, we are here because we are Republicans. And our voices, we want them heard.
Amen.
Just make one point. I do think that it's very important that those who have come forward to address the chair, maybe a little inappropriately, but they have come forward, that we give them the opportunity. Whether we agree with them or not, it is not for us to decide, but they do have the privilege of the floor, and I'm sure your parliamentarians will agree. Thank you.
My name is Aaron McGuffin. I'm in the 3rd District. I do agree it was kind of rude to interrupt my friend Ross. Fortunately, he did that, but I do think...
Sorry, you could bring the microphone closer to you.
I'm 6'3" and I'm protesting this.
You should play for the Wildcats. Thank you.
All right. But I think that we've given a lot of people in the party, a lot of the higher-ups that did get elected as delegates, even at the district level. In my own district, we had Shelley May, who's the Jefferson County Republican Party chairperson. We also had Mitch McConnell. There's plenty of higher-ups, people that I would consider the elite, that actually got elected at the district level, which is usually a time when grassroots, just normal people, have an opportunity to get involved. I think that we can just, if we could just vote this down now and have an alternate, a unity slate of some sort, a compromise between our unity slate that we have and the slate that's being offered by the nominations committee, I would think that we'd be able to have a little bit more unity and not disenfranchise anyone. That is what my hope. I urge people to downvote this so that we can have an alternate slate made.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your time. Mr. Brown of Nelson County.
Mr. Chairman, you were correct in your reading of the rules that the nominating committee report is supposed to be presented as slates. However, it is understood that the committee reports may be amended, and if in fact we accepted, you were generous enough to accept an amendment on the rules report. So in the part you read, I heard the Jefferson County delegate's point. He said that at no point does it say amendments may not be offered to the slate. So if it does say that, could you refer us to the part, because I didn't hear it in your earlier statement? Thank you, sir.
Sure. The rules of the Republican